If you want to become a high priest or a high priestess, then you have to be willing to say yes to your own transformation. It is a full process of walking the steps, of exploring what stops you, of exploring how to be the fullest version of yourself and to turn your spiritual gifts on so you can step into the highest version. The high part of high priest and high priestess is the highest version of yourself. Let's talk about this today. When we explore the path of becoming a high priest or a high priestess, we are truly talking about the path of initiation. And why does initiation matter? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And initiation actually happens in all aspects of our life all the time. The death and rebirth cycles that we go through in this masterclass of life is a part of our existence. And when we choose to intentionally explore the depths of ourselves and where we can go from there, it is the most profound way to seek transformation for yourself. Hi, I'm Tahverlee. I'm a high priestess. I'm a practicing witch, and I have undergone several initiations on my spiritual path. Each one very specific and unique to awakening another level of my own magic, another level of my own ability to create anything that I desire in my life. And I didn't necessarily know that that's what was going to happen at the time. What I knew was that there was more. I knew that my soul, my body, my spiritual gifts wanted so desperately to expand. And I didn't necessarily know where it was going to take me. But I knew that saying yes to transformation is step one. And so let's talk about this. Let's talk about the path of initiation. And we'll start with what used to be initiation as a part of all cultures. Didn't matter where you lived in the world. In ancient times, there was always a rite of passage that took place somewhere between young teen years to older teen years. There was this rite of passage that wasn't deemed around the type of grades you got on reports that would give you a piece of paper to say you graduated. It's not that. Although that's kind of what we see as a rite of passage now, is making it through school and getting a diploma. But the true rites of passage are around exploring hidden parts of your soul, exploring how you connect to different levels of your own awakening and allowing yourself the spaciousness to go deep within yourself. I like to think of initiation as the greatest transformation of your thoughts, feelings, and fears, and learning how to transmute it into your power. Most of us that do initiation as adults, it's because we are choosing specifically to change. We know that there's something different. Even if we don't know what's on the other side or what's going to be awakened in us, we find a teacher, a leader, or a mystery school like Moon Temple School, and we find ways to go deeper into ourselves. And one of the most important parts of choosing a path like the high priest or high priestess path is making a commitment to yourself. Making a commitment to yourself that you're going to show up, you're going to go into unknown territories, into unseen worlds, and allow yourself to play. Allow yourself to play in safe containers with others. And the people that you walk alongside in any initiate path truly become your brothers and sisters. It changes the definition on how you define community. Because when you go into the depths of your soul, that means the underworld, the shadows, the subconscious beliefs, and you do the work to bring them into full encompassing of who you are, like you integrate them as part of yourself in this human experience, and you do it alongside others, it creates connection and community like you've never seen before. And most of us deeply desire community. We deeply desire to be seen as our whole self, the imperfect parts of ourselves, the trauma that we've endured. Because if you're watching this video and you've been on this path for yourself, then you have likely endured some type of trauma. And we want to be seen in our fullness. We want to be fully seen and not judged, and know how to take what we've experienced and elevate it into who we are today. So thinking about ancient Egypt, There was a lot of initiation paths around Osiris and how to go through the symbolic death and rebirth process. And in ancient Greece, the Eleusinian mysteries, which I actually have walked the path of the Eleusinian rites, I received this initiation on a massive quest that I went on once solo by myself in Taos. And I awakened the Eleusinian rites and received that initiation. And it was woohoo! It was quite a wild ride. And I'll save that story for another day. But these are very well-known paths of transformation that humans have undergone to truly unlock their full spiritual self. And then mystery schools have existed since the beginning of human recording, the times as far back as we can go. And those of us that, like myself, that accepted and received the sword of initiator, we've been privy to all the spirits of those that have formerly held and led others through mystery schools. And there's lots. Moon Temple School is definitely not the only mystery school. And there's many different variations and flavors of mystery schools that can take you into different paths that lead to the same outcome. The outcome is your transformation. The outcome is you fully awakened, your spiritual gifts turned on, your soul having purpose. Different hallways to the same door. And I get asked a lot, like how I feel about self-initiation. And I'm definitely a supporter of self-initiation. If you have the wherewithal to hold a commitment to yourself, lead yourself through the processes, you still need support along the way. Even if you're doing self-initiation, you still need community, you still need support. And taking yourself across the final threshold, which is the death and rebirth. And not everyone who walks the path as a high priest and high priestess in Moon Temple School actually chooses to initiate. And that's totally fine. You've got the teachings, you have the experience. But that final finish line is literally just the beginning of how you can live your life fully turned on spiritually, energetically, physically. There's no area of your life that goes untouched when you choose to say yes to your own transformation. And all indigenous cultures and Mesoamerican and Eastern traditions have these deep transformative paths of initiation. And the way that that applies now, because of course we have technology, we have new principles, we have, this great witch awakening that's been happening on this planet. We have collective consciousness rising. And technology allows us to reach each other in much more fluid streams and allows us to still stay connected on the crystalline grid. So even if we connect and we do mystery school teachings online, it does not change the impact when we do rituals cohesively at the same time. It does not impact the amount of energy that flows through the crystalline grid that's connected to everything. It doesn't matter. It allows us to connect virtually through these internet waves, which are connected to the crystalline grid if you choose them to be. If you activate those lineages within the crystalline grid, it creates connection no matter how we connect. And it's easy now. It's so easy to say yes to your transformation. You don't have to go hide in your basement in hopes that your neighbors don't see what you're doing because your life will then be in danger. You might still be in the broom closet, totally fine. But you don't have to worry about your life being at risk if you choose to walk a path like this. And that's what I mean by it is so easy right now to actually say yes to what it is that you desire and choose the path of initiation. Solo questing, deep dive of your own gifts, of your own desires, of how you create in life. And what stops you? What stops you? Because a really strong, deep initiation path takes you to the places that you don't want to see on your own. It takes you to the places where your fears are hidden, where your own blocks live, family patternings, conditioning, trauma. It takes you into those places to bring light to it, to integrate it into the whole version of you. And so some people are like, well, I don't necessarily know that I want to go into that stage of integration. When you do it with someone walking alongside you that can hold the space and the container, that can help you address triggers, and can instead teach you how to alchemize your pain into power, and can do it with magical tools, life is never the same. As I said, nothing goes untouched when you choose your own path. It's almost like people think of self-development or self-help as the greatest path of transformation, and it is. But if that's only working neck up, meaning it's only happening in your mind and in your brain and in your thoughts, and it's not going neck down into your body, into your root chakra, into your systems back up your body and creating change in your body, then the energetic field doesn't change. If you want your spiritual gifts fully turned on, you have to explore why they are not, where they're blocks, and it's always possible to change. You can rebirth yourself as many times in this lifetime as you want. That's why I do what I do. Because I know that it's possible for you to actually create life on your terms. And it requires you to say yes to yourself, not to me, to you. And when you do, then I'm there for you. 1,000%. Not only am I there for you, but an entire community of other high priests and high priestesses step up and step right next to you. And they listen and they hear you and they hold you. And most importantly, they see you. They fully see you. They see your soul, your potential, your activated state, and they support you to getting into that highest version of what's possible. And so I also think of this sword of initiator. This has been definitely in my field since I started planning to have this conversation. Is if you think of the sword itself, I mean, there's from Excalibur to samurais to what swords are traditionally known as. They're traditionally known as tools of war or weapons, but actually the sword of initiation is more the sword of removing your blocks, your barriers. It is my journey to give you your own sword, of creation. And the sword of initiator, I almost think of it like your crown chakra, the places here that block you from the highest levels in the tree of life or the highest levels of yourself. I use my sword of initiator to cut through that blockage, and it's called a cap removal. I remove any blocks from you to yourself, or from you to the spirit world, or from you to God or the goddess, or to your spirit guides, or to the deities that you want to walk with. And it's going to be slightly different to you on how you see yourself connecting to source. I remove that cap. It's one of my favorite things to do. So why am I talking about this? Because in Moon Temple School, we open the path once a year. And it's starting in January. We start with alchemy. And if you have explored alchemy, or even if you've seen me do these body rituals where you see me make these particular mudras against my body and move them up above me, or you see me do certain motions with my power fingers from my third eye with a hand that's receiving and I paint it out in front of me, or if you've seen me use this exact same power fingers to create pentagrams of protection, all these rituals, there are 15 plus rituals that take place, and you learn these full body rituals and you do them alongside your brothers and sisters every day for a year. And you then can't unknow what you will know. You don't go backwards. There's no backward steps. It's only forward. And so we start in January in Moon Temple School, and the link is in the notes. And if you are just listening to this audio version, I invite you to ask yourself, what stops you from questing, from diving deep into yourself to create what you desire? What stops you? And just know that the answer to what stops you can be found on this path. We walk for 12 months in 2024, January to December, December being initiation. And we have so much to offer you this year. Every tool, every type of elemental magic, every ritual, plant allies, the works. It's all in this path. So use the link below, and I hope to see you there. Thank you for joining us today. On any of your favorite listening apps, we would really appreciate a rating and review. And if you're looking for more information, make sure that you go to moontempleschool.com and you can find us there.